What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Welcome to another combined 11 ahead of the big game on Saturday, Manchester United versus Manchester City. I am joined, making his debut on the channel, actually. Had to wait for this this big occasion to reel you out, Boosh. You know what I mean? Mr. Boovy, how you doing, bro?
Good to see you, mate. Yeah, very good, thanks. Look, this video is gonna be super quick. It's gonna be a minute long, isn't it? I mean, it's basically the City 11. Do you want me to just tell you the City 11? And we
No, Boovy, I don't want you to do that because we've got a lot to talk about, Boovy, and the viewers know it too. Do you know what I'm saying? No, I do enjoy doing these. It was interesting doing one when we did one with Grizz for the Liverpool game. A couple more debates to be had, but again, there wasn't loads, and I think a lot of Man United fans agreed with it. Our two teams right now are polar opposites in many ways, and there's a lot going on at Man United. But you know, luckily this isn't the preview, so I don't feel we really need to talk about all the stuff that's been going on. But just before we get into the combined 11, I mean, I know you're quite a frank football fan. You say things as they are. As a City fan, looking at it as a Man United point of view, you know, you were going to go for Ronaldo. It looked like it didn't happen, etc., etc. You didn't get the striker, la-di-da-di-da, all of that stuff. But how have you seen what's been going on at Man United? What's your assessment before we get into combined 11?
I think it's embarrassing, man. I'm not even trying to wind you up as a City fan. I don't want United to ever win a trophy ever again. So it's not like I've got any vested interest in you doing well. If I was a United fan, I'd be gutted. I think you've executed really poorly in the managerial department. I think United fans are saying, right, Ollie for 2, 3, 4 years gets us on this long-term project to win a Premier League, and then Chelsea in that same time frame sack a manager who's actually, I think he's a better manager than Solskjaer and Lampard, and then within the space of 6 months with a £1 billion squad like United have got to win a Champions League. Now, it's not to say United would have won a Champions League if they sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but this chat that you couldn't bring in Conte, you couldn't bring in Ancelotti at the time, maybe, or even Zidane, because of this kind of holistic approach to football is absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. But I love it. So I hope every single point you gain this season gives them an extra few weeks in management. I love it.
Yeah, and that's the sad. You know what? And you're right, because you're not even just trolling; it's just being honest. And that's the sad thing about it. You know, fans are celebrating Ollie. You know, singing it. Leeds fans were singing it. You know, Liverpool fans were singing it. Man City fans are singing it. It's a bit of a farce, isn't it? But you know, the derby is one of them games though that can go either way. And Ollie's record against Pep in the league is actually good. It's unbeaten since Ollie's come to Man United. So yeah, well, I'll get your prediction for the game at the end. But let's get into this combined 11. We'll go with a system that, I mean, I know we haven't been playing the 4-2-3-1 very well, and we've recently gone to a back five, and we probably will play a back five against you as well.
Yeah.
But for the purposes of the tape, as they say, we'll go over 4-3-3.
Yeah, look, we can play any position, any team you want.
We'll go over 5 at the back. We'll go 3-5.
Whatever you need, lad. It's whatever you need.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's get into it. And you know what? You guys in the comments, let us know if Boovy is going overboard or if I'm being a bit too relaxed. I will try and fight for as much as I can. But you know me, guys. If KG was doing this with Boovy, it might be different. KG, you know, rates our players in every position extremely highly, and that's fine.
Wow.
But I'm a little bit more reserved. You lot know what it is, innit? Right, let's get into it. Goalkeeper. Obviously, you're going to go with Edison.
I mean, you know,
David De Gea.
I think De Gea made a mistake against Atalanta, didn't he?
Exactly.
Well, that was a mistake. So
yeah. That's the only mistake he's made in a long time as well.
Oh, he's weak, mate. He's weak. He's nowhere near as good as I think people think he is. He had a couple of good years that he was getting you out of sticky situations. I get it, under Moyes and stuff like that, where he's player of the year. I get that, but he's so overrated.
That's one thing I will disagree with you on. He's definitely not overrated in terms. I think people understand that De Gea is not the De Gea that he was. He's not at that level anymore. He had that awful year, 18 months really, where it was like, oh my God.
3 years, really. 3-4 years.
No, I would say 3 or 4 years where he hasn't been at that top level. But he's found his form. I think he's found his form. Apart from that mistake against Atalanta, you know, let's have it right. He was Manchester United's number 2 for half of last season because all of a sudden Dean Henderson's better than him, which is absolute bullshit, in my opinion. It's pushing the new English guy through, the young kid who's proved nothing to say that he's better than David De Gea, in my opinion. But I feel like he's been important for us in a really poor Man United team we know what's gone on this season. He's been one of the constants. So I'll give him an honorary mention. But in terms of putting him in over Ederson, what am I really supposed to say? What am I supposed to say?
I think Ederson goes down as one of the best Premier League keepers of all time when he retires, on a level with Schmeichel in check, in my opinion, when he retires. If he stays at City for the next 5 years.
I was going to say, if he continues to stay,
obviously not right now,
don't
get me wrong, but if he's got a few Champions League medals under his belt as well, then remains to be seen, obviously.
Yeah, it cut off there, as you said, about Champions League medals, but obviously at City, that's not really,
if he wins a couple, maybe we'll talk about him in the same way as the great Schmeichel.
Yeah, he's gonna have to get the big one to get in that conversation, and like you said, a bit more longevity. But on the real, his distribution is just it's incredible. It's incredible. For Brazil, Ederson and Alisson, do they just keep switching it game by game, or who actually is the number one?
I think it's based on form. I think Ederson's had a run of it. I think Alisson had a relatively mixed season last season for obvious reasons, but then came back into it. They're both, I think they're the two best keepers in the world, in my opinion. I think they're 1 and 2 in the world, but it's whatever your opinion is. I'd take Alisson at City every day of the week if Ederson had to leave. I'd start Zach.
Much of a much David
De Gea. Zach Steffen would start ahead of David De Gea for City.
No, Boovy.
No, he would. No,
Boovy.
His distribution's better on my life.
He's
got a higher ceiling.
Boovy.
No.
All right, you've got the kick, but Zach Steffen is not better than David De Gea. I'm not having that.
He's got a higher ceiling.
No, because he's younger. Right back. Aaron Wan-Bissaka over Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker playing at an extremely high level for a very long time. Top draw right back, top draw. Wan-Bissaka, look, people know my feelings on Wan-Bissaka. I'm quite critical of Wan-Bissaka a lot of the time. Me and KG get in arguments all the time because he's one of KG's favourites. Bigs him up all the time, says how amazing he is.
Yeah.
And, I big him up for what he is good at in one-on-one situations, in one-on-one duels and people trying to take him on. People don't have a very high success rate. Ask Raheem Sterling, ask any of your wingers who have come up against him in the last 4 games that we played against you under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Not much change gets out of him. And so in this game, it's not like he's going to be a weak link and everyone's going to be able to run down his side and score loads of goals.
Good point, yeah.
If Jack Grealish plays against Wan-Bissaka, which will probably happen with it,
yeah.
He's not going to skin Wan-Bissaka. He's going to just keep cutting in, try and win the foul like he always does. A bit predictable, in my opinion. I think Jack Grealish is overrated, so I'm not worried about him in this game. But in terms of,
go on.
not throw him in there, Broovy. You got to throw him in. You got to throw him.
You can have it for free.
Because otherwise, I'll be sitting here just tickling.
It'd be the City show. It'd be a City show on the United channel.
I can't have that on United View, Broovy. I can't have it. So, honorary mention to Wan-Bissaka, but, take it away for your boy Kyle Walker and why you think he should get into this team.
Yeah, look, I think he's, on his day, the best right back in the world, and people laugh at him. He's a bit... I get the clumsy mistake in him makes him look... It sort of entrenches him in this kind of idea that he's not good enough. And I think, actually, Gary Neville made a lot of mistakes. Owen made a lot of mistakes. Defenders make mistakes. Honestly, every top defender, Maldini would have made mistakes. I'm not comparing Kyle Walker to Maldini, but I think...
But it's true, though. It doesn't matter how good you are.
I think the nature of him coming from Spurs, 50 mil, but actually, when you look at his physique, he's available every week. He's never had any bad injuries. I think there's a reason he was the first choice for England when we basically have the best team in the world for right backs. He was still number one in a back four, in a back five he played as well. And ultimately, Cancelo, who I'm sure we'll talk about later, is at one of the highest levels I've seen at City in terms of fullbacks in the last 5 to 10 years. And he's number 2 still to Kyle Walker. So that says everything you need to know. Yeah.
What I would say about Kyle Walker as well, just from a football fan's perspective, if people are talking about Premier League all-time 11s, he's in there. He's been mentioned by a lot of pros, a lot of people. People may disagree with that. Some people may say Gary Neville. Some people may say people like what's his face, Ivanovic, maybe in his heyday at Chelsea. You had what's his face, Zabaleta in his heyday was brilliant. Yeah. Some Arsenal fans try and put Lauren in there, maybe. Yeah. But he was a really good player. But Kyle Walker is in there as one of the best Premier League right backs ever, and genuinely, you wouldn't laugh at someone if they put him in their all-time 11. And
No,
he
I
actually
wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. No.
So,
I
yeah.
think for me, Gary Neville made too much of a statement. I think you can't win 8 Premier League titles and not be in. You know what I mean? That.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
But yeah.
But he's in there. Yeah. Okay. So obviously over Wan-Bissaka, we'll go with Kyle Walker. The centre back situation. I mean, my team is just. I put Varane in the Liverpool one over not actually what he's done at United. It was over the caliber of player that he is. Do you know what I mean? Because he's had a stop-start situation at Man United. He's now injured again for a month. He missed a few games before this. But if you're talking about Diaz, if you're talking about Stones, if you're talking about even Laporte, you don't even get a mention at the minute. I find it very difficult to say that Harry Maguire is better than any of them. Certainly not, especially at the minute. Shocking. Eric Bailly don't play enough, but he's erratic. I do like him, but
I do.
Not over those two. Lindelof, lightweight, decent on the ball, okay, but lightweight. So I like to make a case for Varane just because of who he is. So I'm going to put that forward to say if we're building a super team, Varane and Diaz, because for me Varane's better than Stones. Varane is a top draw centre half. Been there, he's done it at all levels, longevity. He's a Rolls Royce. Yes, he's been injured at Man United, and I know I'm being a bit unfair in terms of I'm putting him in for stuff he hasn't done at United yet.
Yeah,
but
that's why you can't put him in, mate.
He's my guy. He's my guy.
You look at the track record of United, and Sancho's gone backwards in his career already. Pogba was a big signing, a bit like Varane. He's gone backwards in his career at club level, in my opinion, since he left Juventus, and that's just an honest opinion.
Yeah,
there's a good chance Varane actually could be a worse player when he leaves United, whenever that is. Than when
because hopefully there'll be a different manager by then. He'll be all right. I mean,
and
to be fair, when Varane has played, though, I'll just say this, please. When he has played, he has been fine.
Well, you say fine. I've seen a few mistakes. A few times he got barged off.
Like you said, defenders make mistakes.
Yeah, I just think for someone as the caliber of winning four Champions Leagues and a World Cup, my issue is actually I think he's already a worse player than when he signed for United because of how bad your coach is, and that's no gas. I'm not trying to wind you up. Like, if we're playing a system, this combined 11 with Guardiola as the manager, he starts Stones ahead of Varane.
You think?
Yeah, of course. I think Varane's got decent distribution. I saw in the Champions League quarter-final against City, he really struggled with distribution.
He had a bad game in that game. From that game, people were almost saying that's why he shouldn't come to the Premier League. City ripped them apart. Look, you get games like that, innit?
Yeah.
Like, it happens. But for me, I think if Pep Guardiola has Raphael Varane, world-class Varane, Champions League Varane, he just gets him playing the way he would want him to play in his team and definitely would go.
Oh, yeah. Look, you play in the League Cup as the fourth choice.
Oh,
no question.
Get out of here, Boovy. Yeah. Rafa, you trying to tell me Varane's not better than Stones?
At the moment, I'd rather take Stones than Varane. I can't take away his legacy.
Is that just because of the form and just because he's playing every week and Varane's a bit injured
Stones
right now? As a player. But Stones has been chilling for 3 years after his 50 million.
Stones was part of the best centre-back partnership in the Premier League last season and in the Champions League. Second best in the Champions League. And Varane did absolutely nothing in the Champions League last season, did absolutely nothing in La Liga.
That one season, when Stones took 3 years off of being the young protege, being amazing from Everton, and then Laporte came in
those 3 years,
the players were ahead of him. There's loads of players ahead of him. He took 2 years out of the game.
In those 3 years, he won 3 Premier Leagues. He was a Centurion.
He didn't do anything. He
wasn't
even playing.
He was actually the second most featured centre back in the Centurion season, actually. So it's a tough one out here. But
John Stones, everyone was saying it. John Stones, it was like, oh, what's happened? And it's like, yeah, he's got himself back again. It's like, this is the John Stones because he's a good player. And I like John Stones. I'm just saying, he took a sabbatical. Let's not forget that.
Well, because of injuries. I mean, Owen Hargreaves took a sabbatical.
No, I think he was benching him, mate. He was benching him for ages.
Trust me. And Stones has come back and proven his worth. Yeah. Look, I can't dispute their legacies, but right now,
can I have Varane and Diaz, please?
It's your channel, mate. But
guys, you lot know my feelings on Varane. I'm not trying to have Varane over Stones over Varane. Obviously, Boovy is, but I'm gonna pull rank on this one.
I'd have one.
I'm not gonna get a lot more, am I? I'm not gonna get. A lot more.
I'd have a little niggle. Yeah. Go on, have Varane, and you can get subbed off after 5 minutes with a hamstring injury.
Varane and Diaz, get better soon, Varane. We need you back. Left back. obviously, Luke Shaw, you talk about players gone backwards. Luke Shaw last year, unbelievable, really, really good. Took that form into the Euros. I think we can all agree on that. Was really good in that. Season started, part of the collateral damage of Man United, where nobody seems to be able to be doing anything, to be honest. I really like Luke Shaw, but if I'm honest, his game this year, it looks like he's gone backwards. I just can't. It's really frustrating. It's so frustrating because I saw, in my opinion, he's the best left back in the league last year. I know Robertson was out for large periods. Ben Chilwell couldn't get a game. He was struggling in and out. It wasn't there. Zinchenko and who else would you play in left back? Cancelo at times. Kind of mixed match. Fair. Shaw was, consistently the best left back in the league last year and proved it in the Euros. Brilliant. Started this season, boom, gone backwards, and it's so frustrating to see. Are you saying what Luke Shaw has to be against Cancelo or Zinchenko?
I have to say Cancelo, unfortunately. I wouldn't normally say it, and it wouldn't. If it was a couple of years ago, if we were doing this, it was Fabian Delph or Zinchenko, who I thought filled in really well. I can't say they're a better left back than Luke Shaw, but the issue is we're at the time of filming this, Cancelo is honestly at a level. He's not a left back, but he's playing at left back. He's a fullback by trade, obviously a right-sided fullback, but he's playing at left back at a level that is higher than Luke Shaw's. I think higher that Luke Shaw achieved last season offensively. I think Luke Shaw's a slightly better defender, but I think what you get from Cancelo in terms of his distribution on his right foot, his ability to get a few goals and assists, he almost plays like a playmaker sometimes. It's actually, he goes right under the radar of how good this guy is. And in combined 11, I think you start him ahead of Luke Shaw every day of the week. Yeah,
it's not nice. This isn't nice. This whole thing's not nice, to be honest, but it's accurate. People can say, it depends what sort of football fan you are. You either, you're on the air of this is how it is, just say it as it is, or you're, nah, fuck that. We're Man United. Don't let any of them players in there. For me, you guys know me better than that. I can't. Where I fight for a case, I will, but when the facts put in front of you, you find it difficult. Right, the midfield, again, to keep this a bit quick, right? All I'm saying is Bruno needs to be in a combined 11. That's all I care about. I'm sorry, Broovy.
I'm not even lying, mate. Last season, I'm not even trying to give you chat, mate. Last season,
I don't care about pens. You can say what you want. He silenced everything about he only does pens, he only does free kicks. He's got the most goal involvements, the most assists pretty much since he's come. Goals galore. I don't care. Even I could even go as far as saying, to wind you up, when it comes to impact with him and De Bruyne, since he's been there, the impact of Bruno Fernandes, the impact, I'm saying the I word, the impact that Bruno's had. He's been the best attacking midfielder in the league since he's come. He has.
Oh, if that's what you're going to say, I thought you're sort of saying he's had more of an impact on United than De Bruyne has on City or something like that.
No. In terms of how shit we were, and he came in, and he was out a long time last season.
But do you know what? The proof's in the pudding, really, when that contribution has actually led to nothing. And I'm not trying to.
Yeah, but why is that? But that's where it gets harsh. That's like saying Harry Kane got the most goals and assists the season before, right? Brilliant. But he's at Spurs. What can he do?
That's the point. But ultimately, you've got a 90 million quid midfielder next to you. And this is a talk really about how bad United are. So it's not about Bruno. But there are moments when United are losing where he throws his arms in the air. He doesn't act like a team player. He's an individually brilliant player. I don't think he's at a high level of control in midfield like Gundogan.
He's not a controller. They're not
the same player, but I'm just trying to compare them to the midfielders we've got. I don't think he's as individually brilliant as De Bruyne, because what De Bruyne can pull off, I think, is at a much higher level, in my opinion. Look, Bruno can score 30-yard screamers. He's a bit more Hollywood. But De Bruyne slowly dictating play. I think of De Bruyne like a Zidane, a similar player to Zidane.
I think they're actually completely, to even put De Bruyne and Bruno is like a second striker half the time. Like he's way up there.
And he's being used in a desperate way, because you've got a coach who's desperate to get something out of someone. He's all we got. He's all we got. We give it to Bruno Ronaldo. That is our tactic. So I know. But if there's people out there thinking De Bruyne is somehow a lesser player than Bruno, you can leave the channel. Don't follow football. Don't.
De Bruyne, I wouldn't say that. But I'm just saying the impact.
There's people out there, mate. United fans genuinely are saying that still. And you just think, what world are you living in?
Bruno consistently has a say over the games, though. Look, I'm the first on this channel. Look, everyone knows I said, when he gives the ball away, he plays in a way that if he doesn't have the goals and assists, the way he plays can be problematic, because it's giving the ball away. Consistently, he has a say over the games all the time, and that means he's very good. I'm just saying, Rodri, 100%, Bernardo Silva, unbelievable. De Bruyne, unbelievable. Gundogan, I get it. We've got McTominay, Fred in that, and an underperforming Paul Pogba. I'm just saying, in any midfield three that you want to put forward, Bruno, for me, I won't move. So
Over
whatever to. Whoever, not fast, has to go in.
Well, maybe we slot him in on the right. Do you know what I mean? Because ultimately, I'm not even trying to gas now because, look, obviously, Pogba doesn't get anywhere near this. Obviously, McFred, obviously not.
No.
Gundogan has to get in. Bernardo Silva has to get in. Phil Foden has to get in. De Bruyne has to get in. And then I'd throw Grealish in over Bruno Fernandes. I'm being a bit biased.
So hold on. All right, we'll get to... All right. So
there's five midfielders, I've said, and then maybe you could put Bruno as a right forward cutting in or whatever like that. But
so where's Ronaldo going then?
There's no space for Ronaldo.
Whoa.
Of course not, mate. Because look, you got to think about this. He's an individually great player.
Yeah, but if he was at City getting the chances that you lot lay on, look at how good he is at Man United.
He wouldn't have started for a lot of our games, mate.
You wanted him. Pep wanted him, and there's a reason why, because he's still fantastic. Come on, Boovy.
Oh, look, he is.
Don't cut your nose off to spite your face now.
No. Don't get me wrong. What he's done at United is fantastic. The goals already at the ratio that he's scoring. There are strikers that went through their prime. He's 7 years past his prime, and he's at a level that's higher than most players' prime ever. And the goal midweek is scary good. Yeah. My issue is Guardiola is the biggest manager in the world, in my opinion. I think he's the best manager in the world. And I think there's a big debate in the big games this season if he would have even started for City. He would have started early on, and if things would have gone wrong,
but I don't think they would have
not played him like Zlatan at Barcelona.
Yeah, I hear that. Got rid of him. But there was a reason why he wanted him. Pep wanted him.
Yeah, I think City wanted him
because he thought, I can get him in here. We didn't get Kane, but we can have him, and he will be fine. He's Ronaldo. Look, the chances that you lot would give him, it actually pisses me off because I look at how good he is for us, and I think, wow. Someone said, I think it was KG. He was like, "Do you realize that this, Ronaldo could have been at City and be this good? Look how good he is. Like, still, imagine he was at City."
Yeah, and he made the wrong decision, and that's fair enough. He's got loyalty. The issue is, if things go wrong with United, look, he did well individually to get you a goal against Atalanta. He lost to Atalanta in the first place, and I think actually Ronaldo doesn't do enough pressing from the front. I don't think he's sending the right.
Never has though.
Mason Greenwood, who's been benched recently because of him. That's just my opinion. But and Sancho's got less of an opportunity to start. I know Sancho's not a striker, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is at City, if things would have gone wrong, like how we lost 1-0 to Spurs opening day of the weekend, Guardiola at some point would have said, "You're out of the team," because Guardiola's philosophy means more than Ronaldo. My issue is, I don't want United to do well again, but United cannot not play him, and that's
we can't afford. No, I think the argument of you can afford not to play him, I agree. You're that good. Well, you don't even have a striker, and you won the league last year. That is Pep. That's how good Pep is. But the fact that Pep wanted him, the fact that if he would have gone there, I believe you're right. That would have happened if it went wrong. But the chances you lot,
I don't think it would have gone wrong either. I think it would have done. He
would have been on fire. That's why I'm saying he must get into this team because you don't even have a striker. But anyway, all right, cool. Let's finish off the midfield so we can wrap up then. Yeah. Midfield, you're saying Bruno on the right. I'm saying that's fine. You can put Bruno on the right, but Ronaldo must go up front.
Well, so I mean, Bernardo and Gundogan single-handedly won us a Premier League last season in midfield. So De Bruyne doesn't get in midfield. De Bruyne has to play somewhere, and so does Phil Foden. I think Phil Foden's at a higher level than Bruno Fernandes.
So why don't you put Phil Foden? Why don't you put Phil Foden on the left,
De Bruyne on the right, and Grealish down the middle.
What's he done since he's gone there, Jack Grealish, mate? Flipping Emil Smith-Rowe had a better season than him. Don't get me started on Jack Grealish, mate. Hairbands and gym pads, that's all it is, mate. And cows. Yeah. I do like Jack Grealish, but that's for a different video. But Bruno on the right, Foden on the left, De Bruyne in the 10.
Yeah.
Or just a flat midfield 3,
aren't we? We've only got
midfield 3 of De Bruyne, Gundogan, and Bernardo Silva. I know Rodri's been amazing.
Fine. That is a Man United fan desperate to get your players in, desperate to slot. You tried to get 12 in there. I love it. Yeah, that makes sense. But I'd still say Rodri is a defense. If you had to have one defensive midfielder, obviously Rodri gets in. But I'm not going to complain. But
because
I think that's a good lineup. I think Bruno and Ronaldo can just sort of goal hang like they usually do, and the rest can actually work for the team.
Just be effective. Just be effective. Just do your job. Your job is to create and score goals, and just do it. Let other people worry about running around and philosophies and that. I'll just do my job. But now to finish. All right. So to recite the team: Edison in goal, Kyle Walker right back. We've got Varane reluctantly from Bouvie, and Diaz at centre half. Cancelo at left back. Midfield three of Gundogan, De Bruyne, and Bernardo Silva. And a front three of Phil Foden on the left, Ronaldo up front, and Bruno Fernandes on the right.
It's not bad.
It's a nice team. It's a nice team. I tried, guys. That's the best I think, if we're being honest, we could do, and we could have lost more. To be honest,
I think you could have lost all 11. To be honest,
but the Ronaldo one, I'm not going to let that go. The Varane thing, what he means to me, and Bruno. There's some things where you just can't as a United fan. But Bruvi, just quickly before we finish off, give me your prediction for this game, because form and all of that, Ollie being rubbish, all of that stuff, we all know that. But it's a game of football. It's at Old Trafford. It's a derby. And when things should happen, they don't often happen. Do you know what I mean? Like, we should get a spanking. I know it did happen against Liverpool, but we should, by rights, get a spanking by you. But what's your thoughts?
Yeah, no, the side I saw against Liverpool, one of the worst United performances in my lifetime. I thought Atalanta was actually really, really poor as well, and it's covered over the cracks.
Horrendous.
I'm going to say if City arrive on any level, we should be. I'm disappointed if we don't win 4-5-0. I'd like to go for 6 just to get close to that 6-1 again.
You're taking the piss.
10 years since that happened. Let's just be conservative and say 5-0.
You're being ridiculous. well, do you know what's annoying though? But do you know what's annoying? Because of the nature of that Liverpool defeat, you've got grounds to be like, they went there, hit 5 second gear, and took their foot off the gas. We need to be aiming for at least 5. All that bullshit. Listen, I won't have this now, and I got into this came back to hurt me against Liverpool, because Grizz made me do it as well by poking me, and then you get a reaction. You will not beat us 5-0. It won't be like a thrash.
It might be 6. Don't get me wrong.
No, you won't thrash us.
I'm
saying, you might win the game, Movie. You will not thrash us. We're not going to lay down and get our asses handed to us this time. I'm not confident of winning the game. I have to be honest. I'll be lying. But in terms of not getting destroyed, 4-5-6-0, I'd like to think that ain't going to happen. I'm going to go with a draw.
If it's a draw, I'll come back on the channel whenever you want. I'll do whatever.
Yeah, 1-1
parade around London, mate. I mean, Jesus.
1-1.
If we don't win, I will be disappointed in City.
Of course, you should be.
Yeah, because it's a really weak United side. It's a derby.
Is there anything in you? Is there anything in you though? And I know you're right with what you're saying, but is there anything in you though that's like, it is still a derby? It's how you just never know. Because there's been times when City used to be absolutely pony, go main road. It's still a difficult game. No, I'm not even trying to just. I'm just saying. Even when Liverpool were crap, we'd go Anfield. It's still a tough game. You can't just go up to, because it's their cup final, as they say. Is there not a bit of you that think Jamie Solskjaer, you've got Ronaldo there, probably do the lucky, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we've underperformed in derbies. I think the League Cup loss across 2 legs, even though we sort of got through on away goals or whatever it was. That was poor. That covered over a few cracks.
That was Matic who scored that 1-0, didn't we?
Yeah, and then obviously you beat us comfortably at the Etihad. I think it was December last season.
2 seasons in a row now. Beat you at the Etihad comfortably.
It's not about. Obviously, City fans are concerned about winning Premier Leagues and FA Cups. We love winning things, but ultimately it's a derby, and I've seen a lot more passion from Benjani sides and Sean Wright-Phillips sides down the years, and I have in the last couple of seasons. So it'd be nice to see a bit more passion.
Benjani.
Exactly. But that was serious, and you want to see a bit more Ben Thatcher smashing Ronaldo, that kind of level. And I think we will see it, hopefully. But it will summarize.
Yeah, that's been labelled at City, isn't it? That's been labelled at City the last few derbies. Like, are they really? Just
even the last few weeks. I know we beat Bruges, but I mean, even United have beat. Well, actually, maybe not. But
we drew 1-1.
Exactly. So, but West Ham in the League Cup and stuff. There's a few poor Crystal Palace.
Yeah, Palace. That's what I'm saying. You're not perfect right now. You're not perfect.
It could be a bit.
And you've got no Diaz in it. Didn't he he got sent off? Didn't he?
No, Laporte. I think it's Laporte.
Oh, sorry, Laporte. It was.
Diaz should be back, but I should be there. But ultimately, if we arrive even 60%, we should be winning 3-4-0, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's tough talking about it, but it's the reality of where we're at. So pressure's on you, mate. You should win. Do you know what I mean?
It is. Yeah.
But in true Ollie fashion, I never rule anything out, mate, because we should have lost against Atalanta twice. Should have lost against Villarreal. all right, we played a poor Spurs side, and battered them with the 5, but we didn't look great in a back 5 against a half decent team in Atalanta. I mean, he aborted his formation as soon as Varane got injured and went to a 4 anyway. So that shows you what he thinks about the 5. Okay, Broovy, listen, thanks for coming on, bro. Appreciate it. Appreciate your honesty. You know what I mean? Appreciate your honesty.
I love it, mate. As a City fan, I love our bad.
As all guests who come through United View, man, we show love. Boovy's channel will be in the link in the video description below. Make sure you go check that out. Boovy's on the kickoff as well, week in, week out. So make sure you guys check them out on the kickoff. And yeah, thanks for coming on, man. I'll be messaging you when we get that draw.
I'm blocking you now on WhatsApp.
Yeah, 100%. Smash a like on the video, guys. Subscribe if you lot are new, and drop your comments in the boxes below. Let us know if you think Boovy's way off and I'm way off. Was I too soft? Was I deluded? Should it be a clean sweep? Even as United fans, would you put a clean sweep? I think you guys would back me in the Varane, Ronaldo and Bruno argument, though. Anyway, guys, we are out of here. Take care. Peace.